here as well at some point during this session to give you feedback on your chart. So I'm going to go over some things, and then if some of you want to pop out here and you want some just personal live feedback on your own stuff, my bad, here we go. Then we'll be good to go. So let me go ahead and pin myself here. Shout out to all of y'all that are on right now. Boom, there we go. And I'm coming to you live from El Salvador. So do you guys even know where that is? Y'all even know? So again, guys, super excited coming to you live today from El Salvador, San Salvador. This is my home country. So these are my people. This is like a super small country in in Central America. So, you know, you have humongous Mexico, go a couple countries south, and that's where El Salvador is. Fun fact, El Salvador is the first country to make Bitcoin its legal tender. So you already know, yeah, it's Bitcoin city, Bitcoin country. This is where the pupusas are exactly. Y'all already know. Y'all already know. So this is my crib here. It's been amazing what we've been able to do as you know, we've been trading all this time, and it's full circle how everything's come together now. This country was well known for its violence, gang wars, just the most obscene things. And over the last really 2 years, it's been like the biggest flip I've ever seen. And I've traveled to over 40 countries, and I've never seen something change so drastically. So it's so cool. This like really feels like a place for growth. So it's cool for me to be out here because I feel like something in our people is just destined to just get our shit together and really climb out of the hole and make it happen. So the reason I'm starting with all that is because I think everyone here should have the same mindset. It does not matter where you start. What matters more is where you are positioning yourself to go. So don't allow whatever story you've been telling yourself to define you at this point in time. Go and make it happen for yourself. And with that being said, that's the end of my motivational speech here. I want to get into these charts, and there's a lot going on this week. So I'm gonna start sharing my screen. We're gonna dive into some concepts here. For those of you that are not as familiar with me, I have been in the trading game since 2015. 2015, I've had the luxury of teaching well over 1 million people throughout the last 6-7 years. So it's been pretty epic, to say the least. And so let me close out of a couple of things here. Let's see over here. And we'll get started with, all right, we're going to get started with Forex Factory. So, you know, this is not your regular market outlook, right? This is not your regular market outlook. This is not a regular week. This is the type of week that can have a wonderful curve to your trading account. Reason being is because we are experiencing FOMC this week. Now, this, if you don't know what FOMC stands for, Federal Open Market Committee. Basically, what happens is we'll have people who have way more power than they should in this planet. They say a few things. Part of it being about, you know, interest rates. They'll give projections and their own thoughts and about the economy. And then from there, we'll see the market go absolutely nuts. So the market goes crazy on Wednesday. And the beautiful thing about these markets, especially if those of you that are newer on here, is you have to understand that everything that goes on in these markets, every single action, every single movement, every single pip, every single candle and wick that moves in this market is orchestrated. Everything that happens here does not happen by accident, does not happen by coincidence. Every single thing that you see happen here is done highly intentionally. And I need you to understand this. And I don't want you to believe me. I want you to just, like, this is a fact, right? This is a fact. And I'll just say banks fined for market manipulation. Just quick, just 2 seconds to see you guys. I want you to see it. JP Morgan slammed with a 920 million penalty over market manipulation, usually mostly with currencies, exchanges, futures. CFTC orders banks to pay 50 million. This happened this year, actually, just a couple months ago. HSBC, they got fined about 45 million for manipulative and deceptive trading. That is not even much. 2021, Barclays, RBS, HSBC, Credit Suisse, UBS fined for forex manipulation. I'll show you guys here. For taking part in forex trading cartel. Literally, they're calling them a cartel. And it's not like it's just some hood, news place, but this is CNBC, So again, they were fined about 400 million. This was 2021. And this is not just a one-time thing. Let's go to 2015. 2015, check this out. 5 banks plead guilty to market manipulation, fined 5.7 billion with a B, 5.7 billion. So here is the problem with this. Well, it is and it isn't a problem. What this does is this. This basically creates a system where everyone can just keep manipulating the markets as long as they're willing to pay the fines whenever they get caught or whenever it's time to just pay up again. So imagine it's like having $1 billion subscription, but you're able to make 10, 20, 30, 50 billion, $100 billion. All right. Would you do that? Would you stay on a yearly $1 billion subscription if it would make you $10 billion? Now, these numbers sound completely outrageous, but this is what we're dealing with. I'm actually genuinely asking you guys, would you pay $1 billion yearly subscription to make 10 billion? Of course. You're netting $9 billion, right? And look, I'm just giving you an example. These numbers go way bigger than this. Yeah, right. It just makes sense. So what we know year after year after year is that all of these movements, the whole thing is orchestrated. So when we see these news events, right, when we see the timing of these moments, understand that this is the excuse for already prepared movements to happen. So don't fear it at all. Do not fear it. If anything, it helps us out. It makes things happen faster. So before I dive into FOMC, I will do a quick look at Australian pairs. Now, because there is actually in 20 minutes, we have Australian dollar red folder. So these red folders, these are the ones that make the market really move. So what I do every week is I'll take a look at this and I'll say, okay, at what times am I usually on the market? Now, if it wasn't for hosting this trading with you guys right now, I wouldn't be in the charts. But there is a news event. So there could be Australian dollar setups waiting for us right now. Now, usually I'm only trading New York session. That's the session that works for me. So tomorrow we have Canadian dollar news. Great. We could look at some Canadian pairs as well. Now, the main focus though is this FOMC, because this is not just your normal red folder news. This is not just a normal high impact news event. These are the ones that can move the market hundreds and hundreds of pips and points, whether it's forex, metals, indices, cryptos. So regardless of whatever you're doing right now, whatever you trade, it's going to influence anything and everything that you're trading, no matter what. So we have that on Wednesday. Now this is mountain time. I want you guys to understand I'm in mountain time right now. So this is 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm talking about 11 a.m. Pacific. So you guys have this, and you guys can pull this up, forexfactor.com. This is a great place to just get the sauce, know and time it out. And you guys can organize this. I only have the red folders here. So you can click this button and then you can establish what folders you want to see. I only care for the red ones. That's it. That's all that really matters. So let's do this before I dive into the FOMC stuff and we break down what to expect with the dollar, with the euro, with indices. Let's dive into some Australian stuff real quick, just because since you're on here with me, I mean, if I can plug you guys into a live setup, that would be fantastic, right? Who here? Let me know in the chat. Drop some threes in the chat if you want a possible trade literally happening here with me. Now, y'all don't have to take it, right? If something happens, I'm just going to show you what I would do. Of course, you can do whatever you want. All right. Okay. So, AUD-CAD, this is the Australian dollar against the Canadian dollar. I'm just going in alphabetical order. Right now, when I look at this, what do I see? I see some resistance here. So we refer to that as liquidity, because that means that retail is selling at these positions over and over and over again, predictable behaviors. From there, we see one big swoop to the upside, which is right over here. So we see a big swoop to the upside here. So when the market goes up like this, or when we see something like this happen, or price over here, let me actually make this arrow more visible. There we go. Okay, here we go. So when we see something like this happen, sweeps the high here, right? Just like that. When we see something like that go down, what this does is price goes up, and everyone who was opening sells over here, there's a good chance that they got stopped out there. From there, the market kind of slowly worked its way down. So we might be seeing price get back over here. This could be a setup that we like. We'll see. The market is in a downtrend. So when you look at this, and actually, I believe last week, I think we were live here together last week as well. Were we live last week? No, we weren't. 2 weeks ago. That's right. Because last week I was somewhere in Europe. I don't remember where, but either or, right? Something like this is a possibility. The market has been ranging a lot. So you see how we've been just chopping up in the same area? See how we're doing that? I'm not necessarily looking to take a huge push up or a huge push down, because I just don't know when this thing might break out of it. But what I can see when I zoom out a little bit is that we do also have support, which we can call equal lows. So when you see a floor like this, support, that really is telling us is there's a lot of people that bought at these levels. This is what's been taught. So that means that there's a lot of buy positions. And if there's a lot of buy positions, that means that there's a lot of good buy positions. And what I mean by that is that all of these buys will turn into good buys, and not in a positive way, as in like you are literally gone. Farewell, my friends. Because institutions can easily see all the buy positions here, and they drive price down before the market then reverses. So this right here, we could see something like this happen as well. Now, as I zoom in a little bit for y'all, what you'll start to notice is we kind of just saw a spike up and the market came back down, right? So some of you might be looking at this and you go, yo, Mike, do you think this is a trade? Could this be an idea over here? You see, hey, this, right? This spikes up, then comes down. Should we be looking for a sell maybe? All right, could this be a play? So it's not my favorite, because these highs are so close to each other. You see how close they are? This might not have been the best push to the upside. If this really was going to look to liquidate a lot of retail sellers, it would have gone a bit further. So for me, even though it looks promising, it's not the best. And I'm only here to trade the best. So some of you might trade this, and it could even go your way, but it's not an A+ setup. This is like a B-. So could it play out? Maybe. But is this what I want to give you guys? No, I want to give you only the best. And we are not in a scarcity mindset. We don't need every setup. We only need the best setups. And I would really want you guys to qualify your setups, do this the right way, so that you don't need the market, right? You just wait for the best plays to come into your favor. So this over here, I would rather take. Now, this is Australian, Canadian. We might have other setups. There might be better Australian plays right now. So let's go look at a couple other things and see if there's some better opportunities. Now, when I look at Australian franc, now I never trade this. Odd franc is like the weirdest, most random pair. But I will give you guys some quick breakdown here. Do I see any entries right now? Not necessarily. We see equal highs. So that means that price could be targeting these levels. Now you see how we just saw price like really melt down into this area and then immediately pull up. So the entry really happened actually earlier, because what happened was, and this is just a mini training. You had some trend line, a little nice little bullish trend line here. And then what did price do? Price aggressively dropped before quickly recovering, right? You guys see that? When something like this happens and you see a huge spike down and then the market quickly recovers, what that's really showing us is that price didn't actually want to make lower lows. This just came down to clear out all of the buyers in its positions. Then price went back up. We saw it come down. The reason it reverses, it bounces up so well immediately is because the money that was used to sell the market down, this money is now available to open and push the market up. So that's what we just saw happen. Interestingly enough, we kind of saw the same thing again. Price spikes down. We see it come up before this comes back down again. So not my favorite setup or anything like that, but I just want to give you guys examples of what exactly is happening in these markets with Australian franc. So let's move on. Let's see if we have any better opportunities. Australian yen, not really a lot of liquidity here. We zoom out a little bit. We see that right now, the market is just giving us equal highs, not much else. And then is there a position for me to maybe buy something here? Right? Could that be an idea? So as I zoom in and I look for a little bit more understanding, we did see the market spike its way down, work its way up. It came down here again before it came up. So it's not super abundantly clear. I think some of you might want to trade it down here, but it's not super transparent for me. So I'm okay with just living without this setup as well. Now, what I will do is I want to give you guys some of my confirmations, because I know I'm going fast for some of you. I definitely can feel that. And so I do want to make this a bit more manageable for the rest of you guys. So here's what I look for in my checklist. Here it is. You guys can have that there. And so this is what I'm looking for, right? First, I look at, okay, what's the structure? What's going on in the market? You know, are we bullish? Are we bearish? What's popping here? And then after we have a good understanding of where the market's going overall, what will we see here? Then we'll kind of see, okay, well, we want to look for liquidity. Where are the retail money at? And then where's institutional money at? Right? So where is the masses? Where are the masses putting their money? And then where are the big boys? Where are the whales putting their money? Right? Now we are 5 minutes away from this news event. So let's keep moving along. See if anything fun here. RNZD definitely is not it. All right, AUD USD. This is usually the fan favorite for everyone here that's trading. So what do we see? We see more than anything, tons of equal highs. You guys can see that, right? Liquidity here. So a lot of money. If we zoom out just a little bit, you guys can see that. Oh, word. Yeah, this sell here. Nice. Was waiting for this one for a minute. Sweet. So market comes up just to this. So this here, people see a 4-hour bullish close and they are like, and they think, oh, we're going to keep going higher. But you have to look in between the lines. When price shoots up like this, it's not actually looking to stay up here. Look how quickly price comes back down. The intention wasn't to give a higher high when this market came up like this. It was just to lure out sellers, trap some buyers in here, and the market quickly came back to where it's been. So I'm not completely sold on this idea quite yet. I think we could still clear these highs, but first let's see what else is in store. So as we saw, this earlier today we had New York Open, and we had, just normal New York session movement. And we saw price actually shoot its way down pretty well. And so what I'm seeing here, guys, I'm seeing that we had a lot of liquidity earlier today, a lot of retail buys here, and then price spiked down. So we could have a pretty decent buy position here. Price starts to shoot down here. Let's take a look at this. And then from here, the market, right, works its way down, spikes up, quick pullback, continues. So as soon as price went down, the market filled some of this imbalance. There's definitely some left over. And then we're definitely sitting above here, chopped our way up, came back up again. We even left equal highs. So there's definitely retail sellers in here. So this news event today, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something like this. A little something like this before we take and go for these highs. So, I mean, we might be in store for a nice little live action buy setup here. And this would give us a beautiful 3-to-1. Why not? Just like that. And so let me zoom out a little bit and give you guys a bit more perspective. So we see that we've had support here before as well. Some just pretty strong levels in the past where the market likes to reverse from. So once price gets into this zone here in 2 minutes, then I'm down for this setup. So here's the chart. You do have a few minutes to set yourself up for success here. AUD USD. This is about a 8 pip stop loss. So you guys really should know your spread right now. The spread's going to be pretty normal. Right, the spread's going to be pretty normal. So what I would do is this: use some type of risk calculator to understand how much you should be risking at this time. Let's see here. So for me, actually, I'm not going to tell you how many lots I'm using here. That would be a little irresponsible. But I'm taking this live with y'all. So let's see here. Look at this chart. Load. Okay. Stop loss. There we go. Where is? I just loaded up a new account here. Oh, where? Here we go. I don't trade this very often, so. All right, perfect. My spread is nice, good stuff. All right, cool. So we're seeing here, price is starting to make its way down a little bit. So if it gets down to this level, I'm taking about an 8 pip stop, and then I'll market executing right around here. And you guys can use different tools. So there's an app, and I have no affiliation with any of these things, but there's an app called Stinu, STINU. I always think it's a good app to use. Then we have there's a couple different things you can look around. Just look up like forex calculator, and you guys will be able to make the right plays. So this is starting to move down a little bit. Right, news event just is starting literally right now. So like I mentioned earlier, check NZD/USD. That one seems to have good vision. Good reminder, honestly. That's amazing. The students help me out better. That's so good. I had thought about that, and then I was looking at it. So NZD/USD. So the reason we look at things like this, and I do agree with you actually, is because we have what's called correlations and divergence. So when we look at the market here, we can tell that this also spikes down. So I'll put these side by side for you guys. And I appreciate the reminder. I'm a human being too, so reminders go a long way. So if you guys look at this, there we go. Let's see. All right, perfect. So when we look at the market here, you guys can clearly see how they compare to each other. They're pretty similar. All right, so you can look at that there. So just hide this for a second. And NZD/USD, we see, let me zoom out a little bit. it spikes these lows. So you guys can see the crosshair. If you look on both charts, it spikes down and then it works its way up. So right now, NZD USD is right around here and it's pulled back about 38.2. Meanwhile, AUD USD is at a much deeper pullback. We're sitting at around like 50%. So what does that mean? That means that NZD USD has a lot more. It has to work its way down in order to close off the sell and open a buy. So in reality, and I love it, like it's checks and balances here, so it's lit. So I learned from you. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. This is how I trade. So mostly indices, but as you guys can see, NZD USD has a lot further to go. So AUD USD is a bit more vulnerable because it's more bearish. So if NZD has to get all the way down here and it has to drop however much, this could pull AUD USD too deep and it could just wake you out. So when we look at both of these, the thing that you want to really pay attention to is basically, you know, how are we structured here? How are these correlated? And, you know, is one more bullish than the other? And NZD USD to me looks a bit more bullish. So in reality, yes, I would rather take NZD USD over AUD USD, especially when we put them side by side. You can see it. So let me go ahead here. And what I'll do is I'll draw out kind of what I'm looking at here, where for entries, you can either do something like this. If you want a deeper, if you guys want, you know, a little bit more of a pullback, obviously we had some pretty good support here as well in the past. So these levels look pretty good. And then a 3-to-1 is great because not only is it a great risk reward, but you're actually just trading inside of the current range. So when you go for higher highs, you don't always know if the market's going to do that. But if you're exiting inside of the current range that you're in, that's a nicer play. So here is NZD USD. And then the logic behind a setup like this is this following. So I wouldn't necessarily be looking for buys with AUD USD. I am actually looking for buys with NZD USD instead. And I'll actually write it up right over here. And I'll say, right, NZD USD is in fact the stronger bull. As you can see, AUD USD is naturally more bearish at the moment. This shows that NZD NU is more likely to keep its bullish structure and reverse from our zone. Meanwhile, AU could possibly wick below our point of POI. So cool. Got this here for you guys. All right. So let me know if that makes sense. It might be a little advanced for you guys. If it is, just go on my Go Lives, and then in my favorite sessions, y'all will be able to see that. You will be able to see step by step how this works and what exactly we're looking for. But here is NZD USD versus AUD USD. So NU versus AU, and then here's the chart. All right, perfect. So that's enough of this, man. I'm not really looking to pay too much more attention to the Australian market. That wasn't even the point of this. That wasn't even what we're looking to do here. I wanted to give you guys more FOMC stuff. And so I'm going to dive into that now that I can. Give me a sec here. What I didn't get to look at is Euro AUD and GBP AUD as well. These are really mellow right now. There's actually not much. This Australian news event was really, really boring. So nothing too crazy going on so far. All right. So let's dive into what y'all came to see. All right. And now I'll give it up to you guys. I'll leave it up to you. Do you guys want to see forex first, metals, or indices? What is the vote for today? What do you guys? It's all on you. Whatever you guys want. Forex, gold. Someone just said toxic. Indices, metals, indices, metals, indices, forex, indices. All right. I'm going to start with indices, but you know, I'll get to everything else. So don't beat me up. Don't come at me over here. So guys, today's session, we had a very successful session today. Very, very successful session in the morning. Today was the first time I have actually ran a Monday New York Open English session. So what we were looking for here, here we go. There we go. All right. So what we were looking for were we wanted to buy inside of this imbalance here, and it was on the 15-minute. So this was a great play. I'll probably do a recap of this on YouTube. I might even do it tonight. But here we had a spike down that cleared out some retail buyers and then left some imbalance. And because we had so much liquidity, we were looking for price to get over here. It spiked down here. So this is one that we were looking at on the live session, and it was around like 35, 40 points a stop loss. And then the market gave us over 180. So well over a 4-to-1 potential. I know most of you I have on a 2 risk reward exit plan as you're just building your confidence and, just getting better and better every day. So you don't necessarily need to take the whole thing every time, nor should you feel FOMO. It's totally okay. But after that happened, we were also looking for sells. We're also looking for sells. And interestingly enough, what I had said was, guys, we're basically looking to sell because all indices were moving really similar. And so basically what we were looking to do was sell, because here you had a big push to the upside, cleared some sellers, and a massive imbalance. So we were looking to sell in the zone, not the downside, but the difference was that NAS, guess what, doing the same thing. And then S&P 500 was basically at the same level. So S&P was the one that pulled back the least amount and just kind of kissed the open of this push. And so I was targeting S&P because it was the one that was kind of slowest to get up here. So I figured this is the one that's going to respect structure the most. And it did, but it just missed for me. So I didn't get to take advantage of this huge drop off, but I know a lot of you are on Go Live and took some of these sells. So if you took any of these US 30 or indice buys and any of these indice sells, let me know in this chat. Let me know if you guys participated in some of these ideas or if you took it just on your own independently. I see Bavik here did his thing. That's what's up. My boy Jojo. I see Angie, Artem, US 30, caught NAS buy on the open. Hey, all good, all good. Yeah, selling NAS, missed US 30 entry. It's all good. Look at that. You guys caught both. Some of y'all are just killing it. So what do we have next? What to expect? And in order to have a good idea with FOMC, I do have to zoom out more because FOMC usually is making bigger picture moves oftentimes. And I want to show you guys something in particular. So let me go back. And I actually held a session with you guys to prep for FOMC a couple months back. And so a couple months back, we actually did a call. It was a Monday, just like this, or it might have been a Wednesday or something. But we went over FOMC and we were looking for sells. And I was saying how it was time for some big reversals. And we nailed it. The last FOMC movement that we were looking at, this was the big reversal on the daily. And we had to zoom out quite a bit here. Let's see. I think it's to the weekly. But we got to this level over here and we closed out some of the imbalances from February of 2022. February of 2022. So we're constantly kind of nailing this one down over here. And FOMCs just tend to have big reversal energy. And so actually, let me see if it was on my YouTube real quick, because I think I posted it on here somewhere. All right, let's see here. Oh, I'm literally live. Crazy. So on here, let me see. Let's see, trade of the day, live analysis. It might have been this one, or it might have been on Go. But either way, guys, we were going over these lives and a lot of these FOMCs. It might have been a couple different ones too, because usually we just catch a nice move. And so what I'm looking at here, right? And we can even look at Forex Factory and check this out real quick. We can look at FOMC statements or the federal funds rate, whichever one we want to do. And we look the last time, right? Because it's now September, it's going to be the 20th. So the last time that we had new data was about 7 weeks ago. So usually it's every 6 weeks. This time it was 7. But this was the last time we had federal funds rate. So not just FOMC, but federal funds rate, where we have new interest rates. And basically every single time we're going up 0.25%. And I want you guys to see it. Like, we are at some crazy levels right now. Look at this. We just surpassed highs going back to when the housing market crashed. We literally just popped over that. So, y'all know what happened around these times, right? So things can go down soon. I do think that we're going to see maybe a couple more points before we do start to see the market. I think we can hit 6 here, 5.75, maybe even 6. And then what that will do really is create quite a bit of chaos. And so what can we do now? What am I expecting now? So we are about 36 hours away from FOMC, right? Give or take. And what we saw happen on Friday, guys, we had a huge, massive bull run Thursday just for Friday to just melt US 30, NAS, S&P 500. And yeah, guys, guess what? We called these NAS sells so clean. We knew it. It was called out. Y'all saw it. Y'all had it. Literally, it was done live. So the meltdown was beautiful. Right now, it's dropped on NAS about 350 plus points. So what do we know? What do we do with this information? What can this tell us? And so indices overall, what I see happening is I do see us going and probably spiking. Maybe we'll drop and we'll range a little bit here. And then Wednesday will be the big, I do think we're going to get a massive push to the upside for the market to then work its way back down. So something like this, I do think is coming our way. There's a lot of imbalance left over. We'll see. Obviously, we'll have more detail tomorrow. And then Wednesday's New York session will really be what sets us up. But the big thing that I see coming is right now, when we saw how the market moved on Friday, and it made such an overwhelming drop, aggressive. And when we see moves like this, what we know is that these need to be rebalanced at some point in time. And so with NAS, I do think that we can fill this out, maybe even clear these little highs that we have right here. And then this could set us up for to pin some amazing sells. And these I would be holding for quite some time. So something like this, I can definitely see happening. And we can see it because look at structure. Like, we had price go all the way up, and then now we're finally going below. So we're seeing price make these lows, pull back, make lows again, pull back. So we're definitely just ranging over here. So as of right now, I like NAS and S&P for sells a bit better. NAS more than anything. US 30, we'll kind of see how price unfolds here shortly. But it's a similar situation with US 30, where we can come, fill some imbalance, and then see a drop off. So we'll have a better idea But to give you guys, the kind of bigger picture thing with that I see with indices is I don't see us working our way all the way up here until Wednesday. What better excuse than to make the market just go absolutely crazy than FOMC? And if Friday gave us so much volatility, it's an easy excuse to recover all of this and then make everything go down. Because one thing that I want you guys to think about when it comes to indices is people naturally want to see indices win. People naturally want to see the Dow Jones, S&P 500, and NASDAQ go higher. That is the natural inclination. Most people are not day traders of this market. Most people are investors. They have portfolios built around the performance of these markets. So the natural inclination to these markets is bullish. That's like, why would, like, if you're just, most people are like, hey, let me just put money in the S&P, right? You hear it all the time. So they just wanted to keep going up. And so I think we're going to get a nice little rally. It's going to get everyone nice and riled up and excited. And then we can see this just absolutely yanking to the downside. So my thoughts, as I mentioned, I think we'll see something like this as time goes by, with NAS and change. And so I do think that FOMC is going to be around here. And so, and I want to actually time it out here for you guys, because it's going to be happening around like noon my time. So right over. Oh, did I draw it at the right? Yeah, that's crazy. I literally put it at the perfect the perfect time, like literally when the candle prints. I think I'll look at it. I've been doing this too long. That's kind of hilarious. Here we go. So FOMC news. All right, right there. It's a sign. Maybe it's a sign. So this is what I got for y'all for right now. And then these news events can be very aggressive. So this could be a situation with a relatively small stop and a enormous risk reward. Now, does that mean you need to take all of it? No, but there are circumstances during these market conditions that I will naturally hold my trades a little bit further out. And knowing that I'm going to get a lot of volatility during FOMC is one of the times where I let my trades run a bit further, because I already know I'm going to get a lot of volatility. So it's definitely something that I'm not really afraid to hold during these times. But what matters is, are you going with the structure? Are you going against structure? Because if you do the right thing there, then you'll be in a good spot. So with NAS, this is definitely something I'm looking for here. So what else we got here? In terms of small time frames and what can we expect right now, I don't have enough data to give you guys some good solid positions. We do see on the small time frames that we had NAS here. Just actually, let me switch over to, here we go. Let me resend that chart for you guys 1 second. I want to use the data feed from here a bit better. Always make sure to double check what your data feeds are and what exactly it is that you're trading with, or what data you have, because sometimes some of these are just not the best. Let me zoom in a little bit more so I get the right exact precise area for you guys. So if I look at what did I have another one marked up here? All right, cool. So yeah, so we have this zone right over here, and I think this is really where we're looking for NAS cells. So right over here, and then we have these NAS areas over here where we could possibly see buys as well. Now this happened all the way over here late August. So I'll zoom into that and I'll go over that some other time. If you guys are on Go Live, you guys will get the analysis I'll do of that over here. But yeah, we do have right around here is kind of where I think we'll see a nice push down. And we can drive this into the zone over here. So here's NAS 100. My US 30 chart. Yeah, I got you. I don't think I had any setups with the US 30 though. Not yet. Like I could see it go down, but NAS is slightly more bearish at the moment. So I do think that NAS naturally might be the one that actually stays within its range. Right here, it's a little more sus. So I don't want to send a chart because I don't know if it's going to hold or not quite yet. So I need a little bit more. Yeah, so let's dive into forex real quick because Euro USD is the chart that I like the best out of everything. Loading up for possibly FOMC, maybe it happens even earlier. So we'll see. But this is what's going down over here. We had price spike, clear these highs, melt its way back down. And then, ever since Thursday, really, it's been just kind of slowly climbing and working its way higher. So this looks like a pretty easy sell idea. It's almost so easy that I'm a little suspicious. Anybody ever feel like that? Like, this is almost too simple. What's the catch, man? What's going on over here? So Euro USD, this is what we got going on right now. One of the more correlating pairs with Euro USD is GBP USD. But what I will do is this: instead of just saying that, I'm going to show you. Sometimes it changes. And so here's a correlation. This is how you can see like which pairs kind of move together. So you see that here, and I did look at EuroCAD as well. So what I'll do is I'll click Euro USD. Here we go. And then it'll show me based on the time frames what's the best correlated pair or inverse correlated pair. And I'm not really looking at the daily time frame right now. I'm more so looking at like the hourly structure, right? This time frame gives me a bit more clarity. And when I look at the hourly time frame, you can see that it's kind of not really moving too close to anything. Similar-ish to EuroCAD, GU-ish. So when we look at Euro USD, this looks like a clean selling idea. But before I send this to you, well, let's look at GBP USD. And GBP USD, if we look, they're a little different, right? These are a little bit different. And so let me pull up these major pairs, all the pairs that have to do with the dollar, and we can compare them a little bit and see which ones make the most sense. So if you look, we had a euro movement and around 6 a.m., 6 to 7 a.m. Thursday. So Thursday we had dollar news early before New York opened, and it spikes up, but then comes crashing down. GU though, GU just kind of came crashing down. So if you look at both of these, I mean, GBP USD is all the way down here. Meanwhile, we have Euro USD doing its thing all the way. Oh, my battery is super low. So I'm gonna wrap this up then. So we have Euro over here. So they're kind of moving in completely opposite directions. And so what I would do is I would take a look at DXY. And DXY would more than anything want to work its way down to here. Right over here, right? This is kind of what we're looking at. Again, this is Thursday, that early, session. So I want to see DXY get to the zone. If DXY does this and Euro USD then also does something similar, then I'm definitely for some buying the dollar. So something like this looks good to me if we're looking to buy into the dollar here. So at least something like this is what we're waiting for. And honestly, I think we can go even further out because of the sheer amount of liquidity that's building up here with DXY. So let me see over here. right there. Perfect. So here's DXY, and you can use this to give you insight on what can happen with Euro USD, what can happen with any other pairs. So we'll do this, guys. We'll wrap it up there. Here's DXY. It does look to be correlating really well with Euro USD. It's just a matter of how they time out and if they play out in reverse and right around the same times. But EU seems to be spiking up a bit further. So I think there's kind of more wiggle room here with Euro USD. So I do feel good about it. I feel good about Euro and what can happen there. So I'll send you guys this chart here to wrap things up. Let's see here. Right around here. And then where we take this to, let's see. All right, so what I'll do right now is, I think, you know what, I'm a man of my word. So I'm gonna pull up some metals real quick. You guys are gonna go on a field trip with me. Nice field trip time. Hopefully I stay alive here. All right, so we made it. We really did it, guys. Really proud of you guys. Way to stay alive. All right. So to wrap this up, we have the iconic gold and silver. So let me split this here and let's see what we got going on. So when I look at the market here and I see what's happening, the next level that I'm looking for with the market, let me zoom out, 4-hour structure here. Right. Here we go. So what do we got going on? The last bullish push that we saw happen, this was around Wednesday, right? Wednesday, we had the market spike up and then work its way down, and it's been working its way down. So in the meantime, let me delete this here. Silver has been kind of just approaching, working its way higher and higher and higher up into this area. We have some imbalances. Meanwhile, gold, let me pull up gold for you guys. All right, gold's just naturally been more bullish. Gold's just been chilling. It's above these highs right now, filling some imbalances, you know, just doing its thing. This move here with silver, that was Wednesday, September 6th. This was like all the way down here. So gold's really going to keep pushing until there's a reason for it to come down. And gold doesn't really have that all the way up until here. So I do think we could see metals keep working their way a little bit higher up into this area, back up until like 1940-ish. It's a possibility, but it might actually reverse before that because of what we got going on here with silver. Now, silver made this big push to the upside here, September 6th, and then just melted. So since by nature, silver has been a bit more bearish, I got my limit here, not my limit, my alert at 23.40 with silver, and I would be looking for sells over here. That could take gold. I don't even know where that could take gold. So we'll see how far that will bring gold. But that's kind of what is driving the market up right now is actually silver, I believe, is pushing gold rather than the other way around because it has motive too. There's imbalances to go take care of. So right now, not necessarily looking for any sells yet. I think we have some ways to go. What I do see here though with gold, which I didn't really see as much with silver, wasn't as clear. Gold did leave some movement behind. And so check this out, guys. I was waiting for this to happen today. I guess that wasn't going to be the case. But price pretended to go lower here. It went below very briefly before immediately pulling back up. So I want to show you guys exactly what happened here during New York session, early New York session, right before New York open, right after market goes below, right? Gold goes below here. It makes a lower low, right? Fools a lot of people into a bearish structure, and then it pulls back. But price doesn't last here at all. It comes here, says hello, and then says goodbye, and just keeps going back up. So that is a very intentional little sell-off before the market goes flying to the opposite direction. And so here there's a little open sell, and I think we can get a nice reversal off of this zone again. So something around these lines. I mean, I feel pretty good about it. So in here, I think we can get some pretty great entries, and we can take this a pretty decent amount. We'll see how far. It depends on how it works its way down. But what I will say, excuse me, what I will say is that I think we are looking at a very good risk to reward ratio from this level, approaching a 5-to-1, right around there. So something like this is what I like here for gold. Yeah, there we go. Something like this. So my final trade for y'all, market outlook here. And then, yeah, hope that makes sense. So here it is. You guys got a variety of setups. Hopefully you save them all. If you did, drop them in the chats. That way I can also just, I don't have to go and copy them all again. But there you guys, there you have it. And if you want to watch this again, it's on my YouTube. So you can go ahead and do that. That's where the recording is going to live. And we'll see what happens next. So anyways, I will be live the next 4 days in a row. So you guys can keep up with this and see how accurate we got it. So much love, guys. I'll see y'all again tomorrow. And also be on the lookout, because I will be dropping some valuable information. You guys have seen all the workshops we've done throughout the whole year. The last one of the year, which is a destination event, will be dropping sometime this week. So if you want to fly into a massive place in a special location to trade with about 20 to 25 other people, plug in. Don't miss out. Details will drop on that very soon. So stay plugged into my socials so y'all see that. Anyways, guys, enjoy the rest of your trainings. Make sure you're plugging in. You stay accountable with your team.